What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Well, good night. It's late. I know I'm late. Sorry. Life happens to us all, doesn't it? But I made it, and that's what matters. All that matters. 80% of success in life is just showing up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? What's going on, guys? American Fire tonight. I'm Ace. I'm your host. We have a lot to talk about. Man, Trump is really stepping it up in Iran, but you want to know it if you listen to the mainstream media. All they're talking about is the Strait of Hormuz and some of the attacks the Iranians have done on a couple ships there, which aren't that big a deal. A couple sunk, but actually, I don't even know if they sunk. They got hit. People freaking out about it, but it is what it is. Oil's going up a little bit. Marco will probably be down tomorrow, but guys, I'm telling you, this is not the big deal they're making of it. But of course, they have to report how bad it's going. I'm going to show you the truth, and I'm going to show you how Trump today pretty much revealed that he's got all the cards, and it's going to get real bad for Iran real fast if they don't get their crap in order. So, going to show you that tonight. Going to go through that. Going to go through the ties of City of London to the Khomeinis, which is now coming out. Wild stuff. City of London is all up in Iran. We're going to show you some of that tonight. And then updates on the SAVE Act, saving our elections, fighting for our elections. Some very interesting developments there as well. Thomas Massey right now quaking in his little booties. And, of course, we'll have some wins and other stuff at the end. So guys, do not miss the show. You're going to want to watch the whole thing tonight or check back in tomorrow if you get tired. I totally get it. Not everybody's as crazy as me. Can be up at 11:30 Eastern time doing a show. It is what it is. Yeah, that's right. This is like late night television, baby. And, but you know, I'll bring it. I'm bringing the heat. Also, have a little surprise for you guys I'll announce later in the show. Something I'm very excited about that looks like it's going to be happening next week. So I cannot wait to drop that announcement on you guys. I'll do that somewhere in the middle of the show. All right, before we get started, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, supporting the channel. If you see the hype button, hit that baby, because that sucker is like turbocharged for a channel. YouTube doesn't give it to everybody, but they give it to some. And if you are graced with that wonderful weapon of promotion, go ahead and hit it for me. I would love for you to do that. Very appreciated. And if you're on X, you can do the same by hitting that repost button. Thank you so much. All right, Rumble, YouTube, I see you guys in the chat. It's time to say hi, and then we can get moving. Wago Waco, numero uno tonight. What's up, my friend? US1 Tahoe, D6, Kathy for the birds. What's going on? Blue 5, Shogun, late stream. Toe Cramp, Z Grooves. What's going on? Rodney Allen, Mark R, Scott Volkovich, Ray Sandoval's in here. Alice Fordham, what's going on? AZ Tropic over on Rumble. Nick Majors made it tonight. Linda Goya, what's going on? Linda Telly as well. The Lindas back to back. Lochtefell, what's up, brother? Who else we got in here? Pedro, what's up, man? We've missed you, man. I'm doing well. It says I'm really exposing the grifters. Oh yeah, I'm doing my best, my friend. I'm doing my best. M1, what's going on? The Moab. Big B, AJ Trader. What's up, guys? AK Downrange, East Coast. Well, I grew up in California. Before it was communist paradise, I lived in California. It was good times. California's a beautiful state when the commies aren't running it. But made my way to North Carolina because I met a girl. Fell in love with a girl. I did. It's what happens. Jay Tyrus, what's going on, my friend? Beathies, Jesus Saves, and Blue 5. What is up, guys? All right, anybody else who comes in, I still love you, even if I don't catch it to shout out your name. But it's good to see the greatest community in all the internet and all the land. It's here. It's absolutely here. Josh, Jaguars hat. You're hilarious. Why would I ever wear a Jaguars hat? That's just a life of disappointment there, my friend. All right. No, that's enough football for now. I don't want to get mean. No, I don't have anything against the Jaguars. Who could? They've never won anything. Okay, I'll stop. What's going on, Tammy? How you doing? Just outside the Bay. All right, AK, that's awesome, man. Okay, Let's get moving. Jesse Waters tonight. This clip's great. I'm going to play some of it because it's 7 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I want you guys to see at least somebody is covering fairly some of what's actually going on in Iran. And Jesse, why don't you bring the heat for a couple minutes and get us
Last night's
started
bombing
here.
campaign was a big one. Every hour on the hour. Here's CENTCOM Commander Brad Cooper.
Just yesterday, we had strike waves nearly every hour from different locations and directions going into Iran. We also took out the last of 4 Khomeini-class warships. That's an entire class of Iranian ships now out of the fight. I'd characterize our strikes as being unpredictable, dynamic, and decisive.
Every Iranian ship we see in the Strait gets sunk, and now every ship that's docked is dead.
Here, you see an Iranian Jamaran-class warship, a large patrol ship, a drone smuggling vessel, and 4 other surface combatants docked at Chabahar port in the Gulf of Oman the day before we launched Operation Epic Fury. Here's the same pier 4 days later, all ships taken out of action. Here you see 2 Iranian surface combatants docked at an Iranian naval base near the Strait of Hormuz, just hours into the campaign. And here's what they look like 3 days later, engulfed in flames after we struck them with a precision weapon.
60 ships are gone, and now their ports are next. The president warned Iran to lay off the Strait, but overnight, a Thai tanker got clipped along with 2 others. And now another tanker off the coast of Iraq was also just hit. Trump's responding. Central Command's warning Iranian citizens to leave all Iranian ports. So far, we haven't targeted Iran's oil infrastructure. It could get lit up tonight. Operation Epic Fury is just about over 10 days in, and 5,500 targets have been struck. Over the last 24 hours, Iran has only launched 9 ballistic missiles. 9. U.S. firepower has decimated Iranian stockpiles, and now we're pivoting and hitting their defense industrial base. A ballistic missile manufacturing plant just got popped. This is critical to the mission. Disarm them and prevent them from rearming. The president telling Axios that the Air Force is running out of targets. There's practically nothing left to hit. Certain targets we're saving for later in case they don't behave.
They've lost their Navy. They've lost their Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all. They have no radar. Their leaders are gone. And we could do a lot worse to one another. We're leaving certain things that if we take them out, or we could take them out by this afternoon, in fact, within an hour, they literally would never be able to build that country back.
No one's seen or heard from the new Ayatollah.
All right, so
he's allegedly.
Did you guys catch that? I mean, it's pretty overwhelming what's going on. 5,500 targets. We've sunk 60 ships. They've sent 9 bombs out, or 9 missiles on their side the last couple days. That's insane. They're completely decimated. I'm still waiting. Still waiting on those hypersonic missiles and all the super secret stuff the Iranians are waiting to unleash. Where is it, guys? Because you'd think by now it'd be time. And you hear what Trump said? We're going to talk about that here in a second. But Trump just sent out the threat of all threats. He's saying, guys, you keep playing around. I'm going to keep escalating because we got weapons you don't want to mess with. And today they got their first taste. Mario Nafal reports, while Iran Hezbollah exceeded expectations of capability to strike targets across the Gulf, don't mistake this by thinking they're winning militarily. Below is 1 explosion in Iran today. And those are happening daily, multiple times a day. Look at this. My friends, Iran has got nothing like that. Are you seeing this insanity? Breaking it down over here. We got U.S. dropped a bomb only used once before in history. Nobody's talking about it. We deployed a Moab. Now, I haven't got this from other official sources, okay? But we've seen the tape, and this is what's trickling out there. All right, I do want to say I'm always straight up with you guys. I haven't verified this yet, but you guys saw that explosion. That, my friends, is a big guy. That's massive. So here's what's being put out there. U.S. deployed to Moab on Iranian missile factory. The GBU-43B massive ordnance air blast just hit Iranian ballistic missile production facility, most powerful non-nuclear weapon on Earth, used for only the second time ever. Now, I've seen this from a few sources. That's why I'm bringing it up in the first place, because it does make sense as you go through this, the fact that we hit their missile facility. Target Iranian ballistic missile factory producing 200 missiles per month. Plan scale up 500 missiles per month. We've taken out their capability of all their missiles. Now, this makes a lot of sense. We've been targeting nonstop all their military, their Air Force taken out, Navy taken out as many missile launchers as possible. And now, of course, it makes sense to bring in the bunker busters. Take them down, get the underground stuff, because that's all Iran has left. I will continue to report on this if it once it's fully confirmed. But after what Trump just said, it makes a lot of sense. So Trump today, let's just play the clip.
To win this.
We are starting to unleash, or getting ready to unleash, technologies. First of all, Venezuela, they reported that their weapons didn't even fire. They didn't know why. Darkness passed over, weapons went fire. Then, on top of that, CENTCOM reported that Space Force helped them knock out a bunch of weapons in Iran, making it impossible for them to fire. So we see Space Force has got all these technologies that we haven't seen before, and Trump's finally unleashing them, first time in history. Well, listen to what Trump said here.
Very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this thing, win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people, I'm just watching some of the news, most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow, and ideally would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now, one other thing, we can hit sections of Tehran and other places that if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them to rebuild their country. And we don't want that. But we can hit electric, we could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. So ideally, we're not going to be doing that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Very good.
You hear what Trump just said? He just laid down like the threat of threats. This is telling Iran, we will set you back 25 years. This is telling City of London, tell them to stand down. And we're going to get into the City of London connections here in a minute. But you realize what he just said? Electrical, taking it out in an hour. Now, why would Trump say this? He's putting the threat out there. Does Trump ever do that? What is one of Trump's main things when it comes to war? I don't want to tell him what I'm going to do. Why would I say that? That's stupid. You never tell your enemy what you're going to do. He said this over and over and over again. Okay. So we got a troll in the chat. Later, bud. You're allowed to disagree in the chat honorably, but you're not allowed to troll. When you troll, you get kicked out. All right, that's how it works on my channel. I'm sorry. We honorable disagreements are welcome, but trolling and blowing up the chat with trolling is not. So try again next time. But for now, you're gone, baby. All right, back to this. Why would Trump drop this? He wants everybody to know. Think about it. Electrical, 1 hour, set them back 25 years, guys. That, my friends, is an electromagnetic pulse. And based on what he's saying, we're looking at one the size of which we've never seen. Okay. I remember hearing about the fear of electromagnetic pulse being used against us by the terrorists back as far as 2006, so 20 years ago. Never was used, thankfully, but the fear was they could get one dropped somehow in the air and it could take out a city at a time. What Trump just said is that they have weapons that could take out Iran, their complete electrical infrastructure, their grid, in an hour. And based on what we've seen in Venezuela and the initial assault here, that tells me that he's absolutely right. So why drop that now? Because it's getting to the point where he's frustrated. He's like, you guys, don't make me do it. I will. And he's telling them exactly what they'll do. He's putting the fear of God in them. See, we won't nuke anybody. We're not going to start that. That'll go too far. And we don't want to hurt too many innocents. Now, this will hurt innocents. We don't, and that's why Trump's held off so far. Because you set back a grid, this country has already been sanctioned. They already have trouble getting all the food they need. There's all kinds of issues in Iran because of how the regimes run it and how the world treats them because of it. And, it's rightfully so. We can't trust them. But you drop this on them, that makes the people suffer. And Trump, he avoids that as much as possible. This is why he's bombed less than any other president in modern history. Okay. And before Iran, I think it was easily the least amount in modern history, especially after being in there over 5 years. But this means it's serious time. It's go time. Okay. But he just told them that we possess capabilities. You guys you're not willing to go there. You're not ready to mess with this. So what's going to be interesting is if Iran keeps trying to escalate, because what they're doing right now, it's pathetic. So today, one of the ways they're staying in it is by attacking ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. So most of the ships are stopped going through. One of the things they did, this is how high tech they are, guys. My God, who still believes the nonsense out there? The Scott Ritters, the Douglas MacArthur's who are out there, Douglas McGregor, my bad, who are out there saying like Iran actually has multiple other capabilities and they could get us stuck in there. I mean, they have weapons you haven't heard of. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? You know what they did today to bomb the ships? They did suicide missions. They got in their own little ships with bombs and kamikazed into ships. You don't kamikaze on a ship in the modern age. You don't need to do that if you have missiles. You just don't need to do it. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it wasn't our ships. It's not like they took out like our destroyers or anything. No, they're hitting little, supply ships trying to pass through. That's pathetic. And it shows you that they have nothing, but they're so obstinate that, these people, they worship the idea of martyrdom. So that makes them dangerous. It does. But it also, because of our advanced weaponry, it makes them more of a nuisance than anything else. This isn't something we got to worry about. It's just something that we got to take care of. And what Trump's saying is he's got what he needs to take care of it in an hour. I mean, and at this point, everybody believes him. You guys remember Taco Trump? Well, Taco Trump is gone. It's gone. Nobody believes Trump chickens out anymore. Iran just completely shifted that narrative. Between Venezuela and Iran, nobody's believing in Taco Trump anymore. Meanwhile, after Trump announced this, we've already been going through and showing them our capabilities on a smaller level. Mario Nafal reports the U.S. unleashed soft kill electronic warfare over Iran. Black Hawk mounted systems that shut down entire battlefields without a single bullet or bomb. This, my friends, is crazy. This technology.
One of the most dangerous electronic warfare comes from the disc-shaped objects attached to this Black Hawk helicopter. While the Pentagon hasn't officially disclosed the specific hardware, military experts often call this a soft kill system. So how does it actually work? To understand the weapon, you first have to look at what it did. The most likely candidate for a weapon that creates that kind of internal pressure without external sound is a high-power microwave device. It relies on something called the Frey effect. The weapon, probably carried by a Chinook or a Black Hawk helicopter, fires a focused beam of pulsed microwave energy, not sound waves, that passes right through the skull. These beams are absorbed by the water in the brain tissue and the fluid in the inner ear. This energy causes a minuscule rapid heating of the tissue, less than 1 degree Celsius. But that tiny sudden expansion generates a pressure wave inside the skull. The consequence? The target hears a sound, clicks, buzzing, or a roar that originates inside their own head, bypassing the eardrums entirely. If the frequency is tuned to the resonance of the inner ear, it violently disrupts the body's balance, causing immediate vertigo. At higher power levels, that rapid tissue expansion can rupture capillaries, leading to the reported nosebleeds and internal trauma.
I mean, you guys get the idea. How can you beat a military that has this technology? Say, what's funny is we've had all these years, right, where we've been told that China's barely behind us, Russia is right there with us in our technologies, and yet back-to-back countries, Venezuela and Iran, both with Chinese and Russian technologies for air defense, couldn't stop us at all. We basically, they got the cheap China crap. That's what happened. And we completely exposed it. Meanwhile, we're doing this. We're taking out the battlefields with technologies that don't even need bombs. What the world is watching right now, guys, is the American military unleashed in a way it hasn't been since World War II. World War II is the last time the American military was unleashed fully. And you saw what happened. We completely changed the course of history in that war. Well, now we're showing how much further along we were. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff. And this is why when Trump says that the war is pretty much already over, I tend to believe him. I really do. And he doesn't seem worried. Does he seem worried in any of those clips? No, he seems pretty comfy AF. We know what we're doing. And this narrative out there, one of the other narratives they're trying to push right now is this idea that this was not planned, that Trump just out of nowhere decided we're going in, and they weren't ready for the Strait of Hormuz issues. They weren't ready for the Iranians to dig in. It's been 11 freaking days. It hasn't even been 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks. The markets haven't crashed. Oil hasn't gone to 150 as was projected. And yet, the media needs every little thing to nitpick with Trump. They have to prove him wrong. They are so desperate to prove him wrong that they'll just go for anything. Meanwhile, we just took out the 5th largest military in the world, the big bad number 3 after Russia and China. We just took them out like nothing. And again, we're showing the world. And so anybody who believes the narratives, following the lies of anybody who's saying we're losing this, that's even a, I don't know what just went off. Sorry, guys. I just saw that there's some sound was going off. But anybody following that, like, it's so easy to debunk. And if nothing else, if you don't believe what you're seeing here, if you don't believe what the president's reporting, if you don't believe that they've only sent out 9 bombs the last couple of days and there's so much worse going on, well, okay, then where's their big bomb? You think in the era of phones, satellite cameras, they could hide that if they were unleashing supersonic missiles and sinking our destroyers and we didn't even know it? Come on. Another lie that's been going on is that Hormuz is completely gunked up, except it's not. So Iran is moving oil through the Strait of Hormuz right now. Trump has been allowing that. He's been taking out their military, but allowing this economy to keep flowing, to keep oil in the world. And they've been exporting more than before the war. Isn't that kind of strange? You would think that maybe they wouldn't be working the fields right now. They wouldn't be loading this up. They wouldn't be taking this risk while their country is under siege. And yet they're moving it through. See, there's always stuff like this that makes you go, what's really going on over there? Because we are being lied to so much. But this this is just something that there's multiple places have reported this. This is the kind of thing that you're like, well, okay, how does that line up with this other thing? See, we're in the fog of war right now, guys. And this is where we're being tested. All this time. See, Trump has spent the last decade earning our trust. The last decade proving himself to us. And it doesn't mean he's perfect, but we don't demand perfection, because anybody who does is an idiot. You can't demand perfection of people. They'll never be perfect. If that's your standard, well, you'll never be happy. But what he has done is he's shown determination, grit, and unwillingness to quit, and the drive to keep going, to keep fighting, to do all the hard things that no other president ever wanted to do. He's shown that he'll do it. He'll take a bullet. He'll go through 91 indictments, come out on top. He'll go through them trying to bankrupt him and debank him, take away his fortune. He'll go through them trying to ruin his kids. Think about the headstrong kids he's got that are willing to say, "Dad, keep going." You know how many people get canceled and then they just all shut up? Not this family. It's wild. And what'd he do? He went through the most rigged election in history, COVID, the greatest psyops in history, and he's come through it, and he's came back with a better team, stronger than ever. And we're getting wins from it. That's what you get. That's us being rewarded for sticking with him. And now we're being tested, because this is a situation we never wanted to be in. But I tell you what, when we voted for Trump, when we said drain the swamp, when we said end the deep state, we didn't really know what we were saying at the time. We didn't know how bad it was. Trump was always trying to tell us. His statements that were hyperbole actually all turned out to be true. When he was saying in the campaign, "I will bomb Iran," well, we took that because he was also saying no more endless wars, no more getting stuck, no more Iraq of Afghanistan. And people translated that to mean no more war at all. But you cannot beat the deep state without war. You just can't. These people are evil. They're everywhere, but it's not the same war. And that's the difference. And anybody paying attention who's actually doing the contrast between what we've done before and what we're doing now, it is obvious. This isn't the same thing. This isn't Iraq. This isn't Afghanistan. It's not Vietnam. It's completely different, but it is still war. And we're war weary. But if we want to win, it has to be a part of it. It had to always be on the table. The smart people understand that. And that's why MAGA, the people who identify as MAGA, are supporting this at over 90%. The lies that we are losing our base is not true. It's not true at all. We're only losing those in the middle who never really understood Trump and voted for him because the Democrats were so crazy. But that's okay for now. It's okay for now. You know why it's okay? Because the American Revolution was won with only 30% support. Most people don't know that. Only 30% of colonists were in support of fighting Britain and becoming independent. They would much rather just leave things be. And yet with that 30%, out of that rose George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, heroes, men who were willing to do the hard thing despite the fact it was unpopular in their nation. They did it anyways. And now we look back and we basically think that it must have been 100% approval, because they certainly didn't mess up. They created the greatest nation of all time. They did all these amazing things. Certainly they had 100% approval. Nope. 3 out of 10 approved of them. There's more people who support Trump doing this than there were people supporting George Washington when he was fighting the British. Think about that. Think about that. That's how little approval matters in the moment when you're doing the right thing. History is what proves you right. This is a great post. So coming from this, showing videos being posted, being sent from phones from Tehran, nighttime slogans of the people accompanied by sound of drones. It says Iranians absolutely stunned tonight. The IDF and U.S. forces delivered precision strikes, surgically dismantling Bazish checkpoints in the heart of Tehran streets. The very thugs who beat, arrested, shoot protesters every single night. No civilian casualties, clean targeted operations, and the people not hiding. Back on the rooftops, voices shaking the city. Marg bar Bazish, death to Bazish. Margbarg, dictator, death to the dictator. The regime's own enforcers are being eliminated while the people cheer from the rooftops. The fear is gone. We're getting closer and closer to the Iranian people finding it within themselves to do what needs to be done. The regime is cracking everywhere. And we saw the first cracks today as Iran came out and literally said, hey, if Israel and U.S. would agree to stop, we're good. We'll stop. Now, they refuse to give any terms that make sense, but the first rumblings are out there. We don't want this. Tehran, here's Trump again today. This is similar to the clip from Jesse Waters, but there's a little more here. I want to play this because I want you guys to listen closely to how he says this. I think it's important to hear it in his voice.
Excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. For them it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought. But think of it. They had thousands of missiles, 8,000 missiles. We got many of them before they got to launch. They have drones all over the place. We got many now. We're knocking out the drone plants, as you know, going fast. They started talking about mines, so we hit 28 mine ships as of this moment, 28. Using the same weapon, the exact same weapon that we use against the drug dealers in the water. We have, as an example, we had tremendous drugs pouring in through the waters, through the sea, and now we have almost none. It's down 97%. Through water. Now we'll do it through land. The land is easier than water. But this is a great honor being here. It's a great.
All right, the key word there. He was almost mocking them. He's saying it's a war for them. It's like an excursion for us. It's like a little go in for us. Trump doesn't seem worried. And I know there's plenty of people out there who'll be like, oh, Trump's a liar, or he's too dumb to understand what he's gotten into. That's not what I see at all. This is a guy who he believes he could end it at any moment, but he doesn't want to cause more damage than he has to. And so he's being patient, which Trump, despite the fact that so many people think he's just a hothead, the man is remarkably patient. Think about how much he's gone through, what he's doing with the courts and actually going through the system and everything over and over again. When people want him to launch the Insurrection Act or call in the military to do certain things, over and over again, he takes the long way to do it right, to do it legally. And he's doing that again here. Now, I don't think that means it's going to be 6, 7, 8 months, a year. No, I think this will still end relatively quickly. But Trump's waiting for the Iranian people to do the right thing so he doesn't have to unleash hell. Andrew Wilson posted this today, made me laugh. It says, if this victory condition for Iran is just we die by the tens of thousands, have our military wiped out until you get bored, then yes, they have a chance of winning. That's true. Okay, I'll move on from this. Now, this is where it's getting interesting. So Khomeini, it was his son, I think, or his grandson is now considered their supreme leader, but apparently the son he's in a hospital bed. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's so messed up. Well, people have been looking into this, and here are some of the ties coming out between them and the city of London. And so many people are like, why'd we go into Iran? And Trump is doing the right thing. He's doing the right messaging. But this is the real reason. The real reason is we're taking out the deep state, the cabal. And city of London, Iran was one of their last strongholds. And it just had to be removed, had to be taken off the board. So that funding would go away, that control, that operation, they could, the way they could terrorize the Middle East, pull us into war occasionally, that is all being taken away. And they're losing a massive amount of power as this falls apart. Here's major money ties between City of London and Khomeini's. Son of Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khomeini, has investment properties in London. How does that even make sense when this has been, Iran has been one of the most sanctioned, cut off countries in the world. Terrorist states, largest state sponsor of terror. We with NATO have supposed to be cutting them off. And yet we're letting this guy, this criminal, this part of the regime, that Ayatollah Khomeini is one of the great evil men in the world, one of the big bad guys in the world. We're letting his son get investment properties in London. Are you kidding me? He was selected as new supreme leader. They have a property empire in London. Of course they do. That's how they're bought. The connections, guys. It's their reward for doing City of London's bidding. Their financial holdings, front companies managing their family's wealth, not registered in Tehran, registered in the Isle of Man, St. Kitts, Commonwealth realm, and the Caribbean. There's a Commonwealth everywhere. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the islands. Oh, man. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Realm in the Caribbean, recognized King Charles head of state. Both places connect to City of London. All Khomeini money goes back to City of London. Royal family also had off-the-books money flows with Saudi Arabia. Arms deals could be traced to 9/11 participants. At Saudi Arabia, Trump cut that out in 2017. Britain's been financing Islamic terrorism for decades. Iran is London's business model. You know who created the Muslim Brotherhood? MI6. Do you understand? Starmer and the king stand with Muslims' Islamic regime. All roads lead to London. We're watching collapse of the old guard in real time. By the way, Promethean Action, killer video on all this. You should go watch them with Susan Kokinda. This guy, John Conrad, biggest ship owner conference in North America right now. I live in a very liberal town in Massachusetts. I've never seen worse cases of TDS in my life. The London shipping cabal is pissed. People are seeing it. People are waking up. I love it. I love it. This guy today goes after President Trump, calls him out for all this stuff as if Iran is so much tougher. I'm not going to read it. It's all nonsense. But I went and looked at his profile and look what I found. My time as an MI6 spy inside Al-Qaeda, ex-banker. I mean, are you kidding me? Once you see it, you can't unsee it, guys. It's everywhere. City of London, MI6, the bankers. I mean, if you don't see it, I don't know what to tell you. It's wild, the connections here. And Trump is, so this means that when Trump threatens Iran, when he's taking out Iran, it's really about them. The Ayatollahs, Khomeini, the regime, that's City of London, guys. That's what we're taking out right now. It's not what everybody thinks it is. And it's another reason all these people who are putting out all the psyops right now, okay, whether we got dragged into Israel's war, Iran didn't do anything to us. If they don't mention connections to London and if they're touting Iran, it kind of tells you all you need to know. They're either grifting for their own money or they're operatives. They're paid off by somebody to promote this. And that's why I call out these people so much. Now, Tom Luongo did this excellent post today breaking down a lot of what's going to happen. So let me read through this. It says, if this is true, a big if, and that is real quick. Breaking, Iran gives Europe and the Gulf a choice. Any Arab or European nation expels the ambassadors of Israel and the U.S. from its territory will have full authority and freedom to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. So Iran's trying to wheel and deal with the Europeans, okay, and Middle Eastern countries. Luongo writes this, if this is true, anyone who thinks this is Iran's leverage point didn't think it through 1 ounce of secondary efforts, how that would play into Trump's hand. Any nation withdrawing its ambassadors over this to placate Iran would unleash the following. Trump could literally declare war on them. That would mean at minimum freezing their Forex reserves held in the U.S., cessation of interest payments on their debt, and possibly canceling that debt because this would be casus belli for Trump. In other words, if any of these states, even if it's UK or France or Spain, if any of them do this where they cast out our ambassadors so that they can move their oil through Iran, their ships through the Strait of Hormuz. If any of them do it, it's a declaration of war, and we can cancel our debt with them. All trade embargoed immediately. Who owns the biggest chunk of that debt directly and through its central bank? London. What collateral does the Bank of England have at that point? ROGC's closure of the straits. So whatever IRGC, that's the Islamic or the Iranian Guard. Second lieutenant come up with this idea, made it a threat no one could back them up on. And that to me says this is desperation time, not we're in control time. Strait being closed is their only leverage at this point. This is 100% true. Iran has nothing else but the Strait of Hormuz right now. If the Strait of Hormuz wasn't an issue, nobody could say anything about this operation at all, except that how massively successful it is. It is the only point of leverage they have. And that's the only problem Trump's still trying to figure out. Other than that, it's just waiting them out until they give up or until the people overthrow the regime. That's it. If it wasn't for the Strait of Hormuz, because it does affect oil, it affects the market so much. But Trump's already dealing with that as well. He's already got oil pumping out of Venezuela faster than it was. He announced today they're going to release a little bit of the strategic reserves, which, by the way, this is when you use it. You don't use it because an election's coming up, Joe Biden or Bill Clinton, who both drained the strategic reserve, Obama. They all used it for election. Then none of them used it at a time of war. That's when you use the strategic reserves. And that's what Trump is doing right now. And then after this war is over, guys, oil is going to get so cheap in the next couple of years. It'll be unbelievable. And they'll fill it right back up. Says we can debate whether they have operational control over it or bloviating. That's fine. But once that bluff's called, what else do they have? They just offered Trump's enemies the one weapon they can't use without handing the leverage back to him. It's 100% true. This is full desperation. Trying to get the European countries even to turn against U.S., that's wild. And it shows you, like, if Iran is throwing out that battle cry, they're in a very, very bad place. Not supersonic missiles coming out of the ground to blow us up. I can't believe people believe that nonsense. By the way, now's a great opportunity to announce that the one and only Tom Luongo, talking to him today, he has agreed to come on my show next Wednesday. So I don't plan on that being a live show that day. I want to be able to just talk to him for however long he'll let me have him. But I'm very excited about this. I think Luongo is one of the great thinkers today that actually sees current events the way they're happening. He understands it. He's an optimist as I am, which is why we keep getting proven right. And I cannot wait to have him on the show. So that'll air either next Wednesday night or if I have to do a little editing on Thursday. But I am very excited to have Mr. Tom Luongo next week. So can't wait for that. And that's kind of a dream come true for me to have him on. And my hope is that if it goes well with Tom, then maybe I can also start getting on maybe the Promethean Action Ladies, Ian Burlingame, so on and so forth, some other people I'd love to have some discussions with. So, all right. And in all this, guys, the next thing to show you guys, despite the fact we keep being told that this is destroying Trump's presidency, the latest Rasmussen report polls has 5%. The last 5 days, Trump is tracking 47%. So his polls are up over the last few weeks. They just keep going up, even with this situation in Iran. So just another lie completely destroyed. So, all right, before I go on to my next section, I do want to get into the chat. I can see a lot of people have been chatting. Let me catch up with some of your comments and questions, and then we'll go on to the next section. But good things happening, guys. Iran is in a much better place. I hope if seeing what I'm seeing, I truly believe we're fully in control of the situation, which is incredible stuff. Let's see here. Pam Hayes, I wonder why they're so hurriedly filling the oil reserves, not allowing the surplus to hit the market. Trump was way ahead. Absolutely. That's completely correct. Let's see. Jesus Save said, I heard Khomeini's supreme leader's son's missing a leg and a coma on life support. Yeah. Apparently he doesn't even know that he's that he's their leader right now. So that's fun. That's good stuff right there. Steele was the MI6 Russia desk head. He wrote the fake dossier. Yep. 100% true. They were all City of London and MI6 originated. And the tentacles of MI6 are everywhere. It's true, and it's not MI6 only, but it's City of London. It's the remains of the old British Empire that have refused to let us go and refused to, and they turned it into a financial empire instead of physical. And we've been dealing with that ever since. But it's only until recently where it's being exposed at a mainstream level. There are a few people who understood it, and now it's spreading like wildfire. Even most of us who've been following Trump the last decade and have understood a lot of what's going on in the deep state, been seeing things being unpeeled, been doing our own research. Even a lot of us didn't get to the City of London part until the last couple of years because they hit it so well. But now once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's everywhere. Pam says, my husband and I love your program. My husband says there's no program on YouTube equal to mine in breadth and depth of knowledge and coverage. Pam, that means the world to me. Thank you so much. That's about as good a compliment as I can get. So thank you so much. And to all you guys supporting the channel, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, by the way, so this video gets out there and you don't miss the videos when they come up. Hit that notification bell as well, as I do my live shows 4 or 5 times a week, and you don't want to miss them when they come on. Lochtefeld says, loyalists to the crown moved to Canada after the Continental French victory. 100%. Yeah, that's where they're all over here. Jay Tyra says, the information war we've been in is also possibly in its peak. So much confusion, not by accident. Why tip off your enemies anyways? I would say that actually could be true. And the reason is we've watched all these influencers reveal who they are. I mean, let's just be honest. Tucker, Megyn Kelly, they were a couple of the last holdouts that have just fully revealed themselves. Alex Jones finally just went all in. I mean, he's showed his hand many times, but then he's done a really good job of kind of grifting his way back in to the fold. But with this Iran situation, he just went too far, and there's no trusting him anymore. So, and we already knew several of the others. It's just left and right. And at this point, as I've said, I'd be shocked if there's any left that are going to turn on Trump, because this was, and you could see it, because in my opinion, again, it was Tucker who was the tip of the pyramid, and he was the last one. He was like, he was the one who were like, so many people trust him. So many people love him. He regularly talks to Trump. Like, he is the last one we turn, because once he's out there, like that's our secret weapon. Like, let's get Tucker speaking against the Trump administration, this operation. And I just don't know who else they have that could be anywhere close to as valuable as Tucker. So once Tucker really showed himself, I feel like that was the peak of the PSYOP. And I just don't know what else they have, because now we don't trust the mainstream media, and we haven't in years. We no longer trust the influencers. The most trusted influencers have lost us. It's like, who else do we trust? Enough that could like shock us. I just don't know. I mean, it would have to be somebody very close to Trump. Like if out of nowhere, Marco Rubio turned on him or something, one of the people Trump trusts the most, and we're just not going to see that. That would be insane. Trish Cole with the $20 donation. Thank you, Trish. I really appreciate your support. You've been so great to me lately. Thank you so much. Why would Trump be bothered? He has better toys. I love that, Tammy. That's good stuff. Okay. Oh, what's Don Dado? What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. It has been a long time. It is good to see you. Lisa says they could be using his son, Khomeini, for whoever they choose. They've been dressing in burqas to hide. 100%. 100%. They could just be using him. See, the regime right now is losing, in Iran, is losing all of its power. And that includes its power to like, to lead from the religious standpoint. because the Khomeini, the Ayatollahs are great, like religious leaders as well. And if they're just throwing regular Joe Blow up there, that's going to really signal to the people they're in trouble and they're falling apart. So they're going to prop up Khomeinis or any other big names they can find as much as possible, no matter what the situation is with those people. As long as they're alive, they'll use them so that they can maintain some credibility, which makes sense. We'd probably do the same. Trish says, President Trump is the man, lays the breadcrumbs. Yeah. Looks like Canada will be the 51st state after all. Well, Trump did say, Carney, get ready to be governor. So there is that. All right, let's keep moving on here, guys. A couple big things that are happening in oil. Trump has used this very quietly, by the way. You guys know in California, they've been threatening to shut down refineries, which would impact oil prices across the nation big time. And California has been, they've been threatening using their climate agenda to shut down these refineries, and they were going to use it. They were completely going to weaponize it against Trump, and I have a feeling they were going to do it right before the midterms to send gas prices spiking. Well, Trump got ahead of it today. Some people have been talking about this, and then Trump did it while all this is going on. He says President Trump's preparing to invoke Cold War era powers to renew oil production off the Southern California coast, per Bloomberg. Trump is set to invoke the Defense Production Act to preempt state laws and allow Sable offshore crop to restart oil production in California. This is massive. This basically means he's nationalizing the oil industry in California, which is very, very good for the nation. It just is, because California doesn't play ball anymore. And this is one of the ways that Newsom and the commies in California wield their influence to impact elections, impact our culture. California is still the biggest state when it comes to population and GDP, food production. So they have a lot of power by holding California. It's also one of the reasons we can't lose it. People are like, cut off California, divorce from California. Do you understand if we did that, what it would do to our oil prices, our food prices? I mean, we need California. California makes America just a better country in general, just by what they produce. Now, it's run by commies. I get that. But there's federal law still applies and supersedes the commies. So in this case, Trump is nationalizing their oil for now, and that's going to be massive. And it might even be something that helps alleviate oil gas prices, even if the Strait of Hormuz thing takes a little while to figure out. So that's massive. And then also the Trump administration, Department of Interior announced this today. Today, the Trump administration announced tapping the real strategic petroleum reserve under our feet in the Gulf of America. It holds 30 billion barrels. This didn't happen under the last administration. So we have a strategic petroleum reserve of 30 billion barrels that they're finally tapping. It's the second lead under Gulf of America. This is massive. So we just have more reserves we're dipping into and creating. So absolutely huge, man. Drill, baby, drill. This is Trump is just, he has so many cards, guys, that he just keeps pulling out and using. And it's so interesting, his timing. I told you he's a patient man. Well, he waited until we're in Iran, where oil prices are volatile right now because the war, unpredictability of how this is all going, it's affecting the markets. And he waits till now to unleash all this. This is awesome, because this is just nothing but good news for the markets to help stabilize the oil prices when they should be going all over the place. So great stuff there. Okay, let's get into the election and the updates with the SAVE Act, the midterms coming. Trump today talking to a reporter about what's going on in Arizona. This is just classic Trump right here.
Yeah, sir, in Arizona, why did the FBI seize election records in that state?
Well, they probably thought the election was rigged, right?
It wasn't rigged, though.
Oh, really? How do you know?
Your own Attorney General in 2020 said that there was not measurable voter fraud to change the outcome of the election.
I think it was rigged.
There's no evidence. Sir, where's the evidence of
Say it
that?
wasn't rigged. You're a rotten reporter.
Where's the evidence?
So probably thought it was rigged. It wasn't rigged. Oh, really? How do you know you don't think it was rigged? I think it was rigged. If you say it wasn't rigged, you're a rotten reporter. Great stuff. Trump setting the stage, man. He knows what they got. He knows what they got. And this Arizona stuff's coming out again, can be used really soon. Here he is. He did a Kentucky. Hey, babe. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Sorry, guys. My wife never bothers me in the middle of a live show, and she's usually asleep by now. But anyways, all's good. All's good in the Ace household. Don't worry. She just had a funny request, and maybe I'll tell you about it sometime. So Trump went to Kentucky today to go up against Thomas Massie and gin up support for Galbraith, take Massie out, and the support is crazy. So a 5-hour long line for Trump, which tells me that this is Trump's district, not Massie's. And Trump had some fun at Massie's expense today. So he, I'm just going to play the clip. I'm playing lots of Trump clips tonight because, man, he's on a roll today. So let's watch Trump. Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. Wrong thing.
Republican voted against. You know what the name is? He is the worst person. His name is, what the hell? How did he ever end up in Kentucky? His name is Thomas Massie. How did he ever end up here, Paul? Anyway, no, Massie voted against tax cuts for seniors. He voted against tax cuts for overtime workers. And he voted against tax cuts for earners, tip earners. No, he wanted to increase the taxes. He voted with the Democrats. He voted against our historic funding for border security. He voted against border security, where we took the worst border in the history of our country, made it the best border in the history of our country in 2.5 months. He voted against it. And he voted against eligibility verification for welfare recipients. Nobody has to be eligible. Just pick up whatever you want. The people in this room don't like that. Thomas Massie also voted with the radical left Democrats in Congress to keep the federal government shut down during the open border crusade.
Facts.
While our military went without pay. He voted for our military not to get their pay. And now Massie. He's the worst.
Massie.
I don't say that. I never hit a guy like this. The guy's a boss. We call him Rand Paul Jr. He votes against everything. But at least I like Rand a little bit. Can't love a guy that votes. I got him elected twice. If I didn't endorse him, he was not going to get elected.
At least I like Rand a little bit. It tells me that Rand at least plays ball sometimes, whereas Massie's gone off the deep end. Every vote that matters. I love when Massie's like, oh, I vote with Trump 97% of the time. No, never when it matters, never when it's important. Then he always just dumps on Trump. So Trump calling him out, Massie getting boos. I have a feeling Massie's going down in this primary, which I got to say, can we just, I'm going to toot my own horn. Can I do that for a second? Because I don't get to do it that much. I probably should do it more, but I try. I'm like Trump. I try to be humble. But I was one of the first people calling out Massie, going back to last year, because this guy from the beginning has rubbed me the wrong way, and now to watch him getting ready to lose when the PSYOP people, the Twitterati and influencer types want us all to believe that Massie is more popular than Trump, and he's the true leader of the Republican Party. He's the principled one. All this nonsense that is so easily debunked, and I've been doing it for months. But for the feeling I'm going to have when he loses it's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. And I cannot wait for it. This is one of the ones I've wanted purged from the Republican Party the most, because all he does, he's just a total fraud. And he's only been hurting what we're doing. Anybody who understands what Trump's really trying to do, Massey's just the worst. He's just the worst. So this just beautiful stuff. All right. Going along with the midterms, though, SAVE Act, we need it passed. And Trump he's pulling all the levers. Well, his holding back the endorsement for John Cornyn has Cornyn really sucking up now. So John Cornyn today wrote an op-ed in the New York Post promoting not only the SAVE Act, but also pushing the filibuster. This, to the talking filibuster, this is a big deal. And let me explain why. I know we don't like Cornyn. I don't like Cornyn. You don't like Cornyn. He's a rhino. He's uniparty. We'd much rather see Paxton. Okay, can we agree with that? Okay, that's where we stand. That's where I'm at, context-wise. All right, cool. Now, let me move on from that. Cornyn is very important because this guy was almost the Senate leader instead of Thune. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the vote was between Thune and Cornyn Thune barely beat him. So Cornyn has a lot of pull in the Senate. And this is one of the reasons why they're pushing so hard for him to beat Paxton. They want to keep him in there. So if Trump got Cornyn to push for the SAVE Act this much, we might actually start seeing stuff. Now we have House members all of a sudden fighting back, saying, okay, Senate, if you don't pass this, we're not passing any of your bills. We're not playing ball with you anymore. We got Anna Paulina Luna, Boebert, a few others, a couple guys. But it's enough because our majority is so small. All you need is a few. They can hold up anything the Senate wants to get done. And then Trump comes out and says, I won't pass anything, or I won't sign anything until you pass the SAVE Act. So you got the pressure coming from the executive and the pressure from the other house. Now within the Senate itself, you have several senators and going up to Cornyn now, making this big push and calling everybody out, doing it in a very public national way. So guys, this is, the SAVE Act is either going to get passed or the Senate Republicans are going to go down in flames over this. Heads are going to roll. Either way, it's going to be a win, but it's going to look different one way or the other. Trump is, I'm telling you, I truly believe Trump's got some up his sleeve in case they don't pass it, but it shows you how the pressure coming from him. He is doing everything he can to get it done. Let's see here. $2,000+ civilians. So Jerry Sardis with the $5 donation. I do appreciate the donation. He says, if Trump would have been assassinated a year ago, there would have been 170 Iranian children deceased now and 2,000 civilians. Okay, so you're trying to make the point that if Trump had been shot, there's too many civilians killed. Listen, man, war sucks. War really sucks. And the real question isn't our bombs, how many did they kill when we actually try to avoid civilians. It's how much more death and destruction would have happened if we didn't have a strong president actually doing the right things. I mean, think about it. The Iranian people rose up and killed, and 38,000 of them were killed by their own regime. I don't see you caring about those people. Well, that regime would still be in power, killing much more people than our bombs got in collateral damage, which is terrible. It's awful. But this is the kind of thing. That's why I don't listen to stupid arguments like the one you just made. It's a terrible thing. War is a terrible thing. But what was even more terrible in this instance is the own regime who killed 10 times more of those people, of their own people, just a month ago. And you don't seem to care about that. So I'll say that if Trump was shot and killed over a year ago, there'd probably be thousands and thousands and thousands more Iranians killed. by the way, Palestine would be completely destroyed because Trump stopped Israel from bombing Gaza. So you don't even think about that, do you, either? So nice try. Nice try. Listen, if anybody thinks you're going to gotcha me, I mean, that's hilarious. I'm the one up here who does this research, who puts on hours and hours of this content because I know what I'm talking about over and over again. And you come at me with a talking point. So that's hilarious. But hey, I'll take your $5. Thanks for paying to play. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support. All right, let's keep going. The SAVE Act, they want to destroy it so bad that Political is putting out this GOP wants to move past the SAVE Act, but it's presented to you by Boeing. So that's all you need to know there. Boeing's paying Political to tell us the GOP wants to move past the Save America Act. Well, more than 80% of Americans want it, which is absolutely true, including about 50% of Democrats want it, well over 90% of Republicans. This is the most popular bill, massive bill that changes nationwide law that we've maybe ever seen. And for the Republicans to be stagnant, which again goes to show you, for everybody who gets mad at Trump, like he doesn't do enough, he's not getting enough done. No, the truth is the man is a miracle maker, because what he's accomplished, considering how pathetic his Republican Senate is and how awful the judiciary is that keeps like putting roadblocks on him time after time after time, and he still gets so much done. That's the real story, is how much Trump gets done with everybody against him, and yet he's still more effective, more productive than any president we've had in modern history. That's the real story, not, oh, Trump doesn't get enough done. And so, again, just more proof to that as well. So just great stuff. Everybody doesn't like the talking points. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I had a CNN reporter come in and donate part of their salary, which isn't much anymore since they've been bought by Paramount, and CNN's about to go bye-bye, at least the way it is. A lot of those people are going to get fired. So sad. So sad. All right. A couple other things I wanted to cover before I go tonight, which I'm going to finish up here. But so the White House has put up this new COVID site shared by Carrie Lake. This is just great stuff, guys. I mean, look at this. Lab leak, the true origins of COVID. So the White House has now put out an entire COVID site. They changed covid.gov to be leak true origins of COVID. And it's just an entire site dedicated to exposing the lies of COVID. Here's Anthony Fauci, Rand Paul going after Fauci and them, World Health Organization, social distancing, just exposing all the lies of COVID. This is now official government documents. You gotta love it. It's so good. So this is the kind of stuff I voted for. I just gotta say, so good, so wonderful. And then going back to, last night, we covered Bondi going into military protection. Well, it's just very interesting. Somebody put it together today that back in 2017, the Q posts were saying that POTUS is 100% insulated, and now it seems to be referring to also his cabinet, because they're all ending up on military bases right now. We know officially Hegseth, Stephen Miller, Bondi, Gabbard, and I think there's one more we know for sure, are all living on military bases now because of the death threats on their life. So crazy stuff. And also his OMB director, Russ Vought, was almost assassinated just over a month ago as well. So they're trying to take him out. They are desperate. These people are, it's Rubio is also living on there. Here's another post. Miller, Hegseth, Rubio, Kirsty Noem. So many of them. And it just tells you, like, hey, if they're trying to kill you, you're doing something right. Because this didn't happen to the Obamas. This didn't happen to the Clintons or the Bushes or Bidens. It didn't happen to their cabinet. No, but these people are trying to take down the deep state cabal, the City of London, the intelligence agencies who've been running those ops for so long. They're doing God's work, and they're just one piece at a time. They're taking it down with everybody against them, and yet they're winning. It's the most incredible thing. So, all right, I'm going to get into the chat before we finish up tonight. I got to see it's been very, very busy. Let's see here. It looks like you guys must have been talking to each other tonight. That's all right. Did I miss anything? Thank you, Taya, for the compliment. I appreciate that. Let's see. Jay Tyra says, don't fall for it. All the rhinos will vote for the SAVE Act knowing it won't pass by reaching it's all optics. 100%. It is. They will because they know it's not going to pass anyways. But here's the deal. On the SAVE Act, they actually might. So the real win for the SAVE Act will be the filibuster being forced to be the talking filibuster or eliminating the filibuster altogether. They will go to the talking filibuster first before they ever get rid of the full filibuster, which they should just get rid of. But regardless, that's what we'll see. And the people might be able to force them to it. So you're right about next week's vote will be a sham. All the rhinos will vote for it. But the problem is they've gone too deep because 50 Republicans are now on record saying they'll support the SAVE Act. So 50 are on record, which means if they get the talking filibuster passed because of pressure, which I do think is possible, and the Democrats talk for whatever, a month, 2 months, whatever it takes, and they finally, their time's done. Well, now you got 50 Republicans on record that will have to vote for it or face certain doom to their voters. Because again, the popularity of this bill is such a big deal, and they're making it more and more in the face of the voters every day. I mean, they are doing a wonderful job marketing this, making it a big deal, and people are blowing them up. So you get those on record, and then they'll have to vote for it come the time when if they get through the talking filibuster, and J.D. Vance will be the tiebreaker. So there is a pathway to it being passed. I see happening. It's hard, and it's unlikely, but it's possible. And those possibilities, which I probably would have put at 20% a couple weeks ago, I think is risen. I think it's now 35% or so chance of it actually getting passed. So, miracles can happen, man. Remember when everybody thought that Trump couldn't get the one big beautiful bill passed, and then they thought he couldn't get it passed in one bill, and then they thought he couldn't get it passed by July 4th? Well, it all happened. So stuff can happen. It is amazing. Let's see here. Wish we could get term limits. Well, that's a constitutional deal, so that's going to be tough. I don't think we'll see it anytime soon, but we'd have to have we'd have to have a House majority that's huge, and we'd have to have a Senate that was MAGA on the Republican side, which we've got a ways to go before we have that. And it would also have to be a bunch of moderates in the middle. And only then could we have a chance of getting term limits passed. But you never knew. You never know. I mean, anything's possible these days. Wait till, guys, I think we're going to see a much different world in the next couple of years. As City of London falls, as it loses more and more power, once the Iran stuff's figured out, I think by 2028, coming into that cycle after Trump, which isn't after Trump, I just don't think he'll be president, but he'll still be kingmaker. I think we'll start going into a different world. We're in the hard part right now, guys. We're in the slog, but we're coming into better times. We really are. This is the fourth turning. This is the insanity portion, but after every fourth turning comes a time of prosperity. And I think we're going to see some amazing things after this time. So anyways, all right. God bless you guys. It's super late. So please like and subscribe before we go tonight. I appreciate the support. If you like this and you want to support the show and get some extra content on top of it, please consider joining. The Patreon link is in the description. Click it, get a free month. Try it out. Get in the Discord, which is going 24/7. Discord, members lives, members podcasts, all kinds of extra stuff in there. So please consider supporting. Get your free month up front to just try it out, see if you like it. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, we end in a prayer here because prayer works. And I believe it's God who got us here in the first place, gave us this miracle of fighting back on the world and getting America back. So we pray at the end of every life for that very reason. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God, I bless everybody here in Jesus' name. Just thank you, Lord, for all these people watching and supporting this channel, especially for the members who support this channel. And Father, I pray for protection over President Trump and his team. Watch over them, Lord. Keep them safe against all odds, all obstacles, and give them the wisdom to navigate every single challenge they're faced with, and the boldness to face every tough challenge and not back down. We pray for justice, peace, and prosperity to come back to our country like never before, and from there to spread, God, to other good peoples who deserve their country to come back as well. I pray that this movement, this changing of the guard would go to many other places, and so we'd see sovereign nations all over the place, just no longer controlled by foreign powers and agencies and bankers and financial places that don't care for them at all and are just using them. So I pray for that, God, and I pray that, Lord, you continue to expose anybody who needs to be exposed. So far, we've seen so much exposure. It's mind-boggling. So many people we once trusted have proven to be untrustworthy, and that's good. It's good because it means it's real, and you're revealing all. So we pray for that to continue, so justice can follow. In Jesus' name we pray. Bless everybody here. Amen. All right, guys, as always, love you, appreciate you. Like and subscribe on the way out, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a blessed night. Goodbye.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no